Hey y'all, it's me Deja B, back at it again with another video. Today I come to you as humbly as I know how to talk to you about Tulum. We're gonna get into it, okay? So a lot of us, I'm sure, dream of going to Mako, land of beauty, jungles, beaches, and tropics. And there's some things that I kind of knew, but in a very vague way. And I wish I knew the depths of my despair. Sorry. I wish I knew the depths of which, that was right. The depth of which I needed to know things before I got there, okay? Just gonna talk to you a little bit about our journey, okay? So we get to Tulum, well, we get to Mexico. We fly in to Cancun. And when you fly in, the arrival part, it's real dry, honey. It's real dry. It ain't nothing like in the United States, how both the arrival and departure look kind of the same. It's nothing like that. It's just blank white walls. A long hallway, you walk down, then you go right, and then you keep walking. It's a long way, y'all. It's a long way till you get to customs. All right, it's longer than I thought it would be. You get to customs. I mean, it's real dry, you know, it's just real dry. It's just real dry looking, white and bare. Get through customs, they stamp you all that, check your passport. And then they check your bags. Well, they check, if you're walking in with plastic bags, they check your plastic bags. I don't know what they think you have in the plastic bag. I guess there's certain things you can't come into the country with, but usually when someone has a plastic bag that they came to the airport with, it has food, right? Usually it has food in it, but they check. Then you keep walking and you get to a point where there's a lot of noise. There's people trying to get you to rent cars. There's people trying to get you to get taxis. And you gotta find, I guess, if you get in a taxi or if you got a shuttle, if you got something or some transportation already booked, you gotta find it. And there's a lot of commotion, a lot of noise, and people trying to buy a taxi, you need taxi, you need taxi, you need taxi, you need taxi, so you come from this abyss of nothingness to energy, lots and lots of energy, okay? But when you return, when you depart, it looks like a freaking mall, y'all. It looks like a whole mall. Alcohol and shit, like just big ass. I never seen something so dedicated to alcohol, like an airport with a section so dedicated to alcohol. It's actually kind of crazy, but it was really bright and there's a lot of good energy, you know. It gives you the vibes. It gives you the vibes. Well, that's Cancun International Airport, everybody. Thank you very much. Another thing, we're talking about things you need to know. Things you need to know before you go to Tulum, Mexico. Tulum is like an hour and 50 minutes away from Cancun. So if you're flying to Cancun, you gotta take a decent little ride to get to Tulum. You need to know that. Then, another thing, and I'm sure a lot of people want to know, is that Ganja is legal. It's legal. You need me to say it again? Ganja is legal. It's legal, bitch. It's legal. Weed is legal there. But don't expect it to be strong like how y'all expect it to be strong. I'm just saying it's gonna be a little light, okay? But the smokers out there, I'm not one of them. But for the real smokers, you know, it ain't gonna hit for much. So don't expect it to hit for much, okay? Another thing that I really was annoying to me is that a lot of restaurants do not split checks. And almost like they don't ask, they don't think, like, and it's not that complicated, but at the same time, when everyone has different types of pesos or bills or payment methods or whatever, if you put everybody's check together, some people only have big bills, some people only have small bills, you know, some people don't have the exact change. So then you have to think about, okay, you just got to think about all the calculations, and everybody, if everybody's giving extra, everybody's got to figure out what extra they're getting back, and if they're gonna leave it as a tip or whatever. It just can get kind of annoying, and I'm sure if you're taking a large group with you, it can get kind of crazy. It can get kind of crazy. It's just a little much. It's just better if you have your own tab, and you ain't got to worry about what everybody else got to put in. Okay, so there's that. Some restaurants will not. Some restaurants will just absolutely not separate the tabs. Some will, but you have to tell them before you place your order. Even if you're just ordering water, you need to tell them before they put their order in the computer. Or you got to split the tab, which might not be that complicated in certain situations, but it could become more complicated when there's a large party and things like that. So just take that into consideration. Next, another thing you need to know is the conversion rate slightly changes. It varies daily. So one day it can be a $1 US equals 18.7 US pesos. But I mean, what US pesos? Mexican pesos. And then the next day it could be $1 equals 19.17 Mexican pesos. So the conversion rate changes daily. It's really a lot to think about. So you might as well just go ahead and get your pesos, so you got to worry about how to calculate and all of that and whatever. Another thing, restaurants charge for water, and the reason that is because they're giving you either purified or bottled water, or they're giving you water that came from some sort of like purification. Like the water, like our faucet water in the United States is purified, it's more purified, but we have a different type of like sewage system and all of that, so it'll be better, like it wouldn't be as hazardous for us to drink water straight out of the faucet, but their water coming straight out of the faucet is not gonna be good for anybody. And I'll get into why in a little bit. Don't go in there expecting to get no water for free, because it's not gonna happen. Now I'm getting into this water thing. If you're not staying in a hotel or a resort, more than likely the water is straight from the ground. Like the water table that they dug into to build it is gonna be straight from down there. So the water might have a different hue to it. It might be a little brown, it might be a little tan, it might be a little tinted, okay? And that is because all that's filtering the water is probably the little stones that the water travels to or from before, you know, when it goes down, the rainwater and all of that, it's just coming straight from the ground. It's coming straight from the ground. And you don't want to drink that. You don't want to rinse your mouth with it when you brush your teeth. You barely even want to shower in it. And we stayed in an Airbnb, and coming upon that knowledge was a little tragic for us because we never felt clean the rest of the trip. And then there was one point where there was like super heavy rain one night. It was like storming, thunder, and lightning. The power was flickering on and off. And the next day, the water was so tinted. It was so much more tinted than before, and it just looked so disgusting. And one day I was brushing my teeth, and I accidentally, like, because you're at home, like you're used to like brushing your teeth, throwing some water in your mouth, spitting it back in the sink, and that is what I did one day, and the water tasted very nasty. It was just disgusting. So get you some bottled water. That's just what that comes down to. Our Airbnb hostess did provide purified water in one of those like really big jugs that you can like get from the grocery store and like refill at the grocery store. She did provide us with one of those. We did go and get some of our own additional bottled water as well, and use the bottled water to rinse your mouth when you brush your teeth. Remember to do that, okay? Because it won't taste good. In addition to the whole water situation, the water pressure is kind of low in some places. They don't have the power flush like we have. It's very low, and so sometimes it won't flush all of your stuff, so you can't really put tissue in the toilets. In restaurants and Airbnbs and all of that, they will instruct you not to do so. They want you to put your tissue in the trash. Yeah, so be expecting to throw your tissue in the trash can instead of the toilet. Get that in your brain now. Get it in your head. 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 Okay, so we're gonna move away from the housing situation and the water situation, and we're going to talk about transportation. So taxis are really the easiest way. Yeah, they're pretty much the easiest way to get around. Like everywhere you go, if you're in the main area, a populated area, you're going to see taxis. You'll probably be able to flag some down. If you're in with a group, I mean, depending on where you go, you could spend anywhere from, it might not be much. If you're close to the main avenue and you just go somewhere on the main avenue, then you could just spend maybe 200 pesos. If you stay near the main avenue and you're going to the beach, if it's for 5 or more people, you could spend like up to 800, 900 pesos. And it just depends on the size of the vehicle, of course. Like that is definitely considered and counted in, factored in. That's pretty much going to be the easiest route of transportation. And our Airbnb hostess did tell us about like a dispatcher, Juanita Taxista, through WhatsApp, who you basically during like daytime hours, after like 11, I don't think she does anything, or maybe it might be like 10, but basically during like morning to late evening hours, you can text her and be like, hey, I need a taxi for this many people to this place, and she'll get you a taxi, tell you the taxi number and all of that. So that is really cool. But other than that, you can, you know, easily find a taxi if you're in a populated place. Other than that, there is something called colectivos that go like certain areas, but mainly up and down the main avenue. Some colectivos go all the way to Cancun, to the airport, or like to Playa del Carmen. Just depends. That is another way that you can find transportation if you're going somewhere that the colectivos go. Kind of like if you take a bus, but colectivos are more like, it's more like a large van that probably can fit like 10 to 12 people, random people, strangers. Anyone can get on the colectivo as long as they can pay. It might be a little bit cheaper than taking a taxi, but you have to know the colectivo route. And it's not like how if you live in Houston, or if you live in New York, or if you live in Charlotte, or if you live in LA, there's not going to be a whole bus schedule printed out anywhere for you, or it's not going to be a whole schedule that you can easily find online that's like really accessible. There is some information about colectivos online, but it's not as widely advertised, I guess, online as it would be if you were at a city in the United States. But if you do your research, you can definitely find some maps and stuff. It's not super hard. So you could hypothetically take a colectivo from the airport to Tulum, but it begins a little tricky because collectivos mainly just fit people, and if there's a lot of people trying to get on, all the luggage might not be able to get on there with you. So it's better probably just to book some sort of transfer or shuttle, something like that, or rent a car, because then you know all of your stuff will fit, right? A lot of places the food is really cheap, like really cheap. Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, you get like one meal I got from Burrito Amor, I got chia pudding, eggs and pesto, and I got a cinnamon roll smoothie and a watermelon mint water. Split like a big thing of water, I think 2 things of water for the whole table, and I only spent like maybe 345 pesos. If you just roughly calculate that, it's probably like $17. So kind of get a whole meal and a little appetizer for $17, which isn't that bad. And then there's a lot of places like little taco places, mom and pop shops and stuff that you can really get a lot. You can get a lot of food for nothing, like a few tacos for like 70, 90 pesos or something like that. So it's really up to you, like if you want to go to the places on the beach, or if you want to go to the little mom and pop shops and, you know, risk maybe your stomach feeling a little weird later. It's really up to you. But we definitely did find multiple places. Burrito Amor is definitely very affordable. Bate Mojito and Guarapo Bar is cheap as well. We went to this place called ZZ Max. These are all in my vlog. That was a very affordable place as well, and the food was really good there. That's probably one of my favorite places that I ate. Bonita Burgers was good. The most expensive place we went to eat, honestly, was Taboo. It's a beach club, so if you go to a beach club, expect to be paying more than $17 for a meal, honestly. Another thing that I know people are, you know, really concerned about when they travel internationally or whatever, or to another state even, they want to know is it safe. And I would say I did not really feel like Tulum was very like someone was gonna drive up and take us in their van. Like, I feel like it was a very safe place. The people are very and you don't really feel too out of place. Yes, a lot of people speak only Spanish, but they know some English words, or you can communicate basic things to them like how to pay for something easily. But a lot of people do also speak English, so that's another reason why you won't feel too out of place. I mean, it's a touristy city, so that's to be expected. And like us, we learn some Spanish in school, they learn some English in school, so they do know some basic things. What was I saying? That's what I was saying. It's pretty safe. The Airbnb that we stayed in particular, it was like a gated community, and it was only like 15 apartment units in there. So that was pretty cool. Let me know if you want me to link the Airbnb, because it was pretty decent. You know, besides the water situation, but if you stay in an Airbnb anywhere, it's gonna be like the same water situation. So, you know, you just kind of gotta suck it up. If you don't want to stay in a resort, you just gotta suck it up. But yeah, pretty safe. You feel pretty, you know, included. It's touristy, so you know a lot of people are going to speak English. You're going to see black people, you're going to see white people, you're going to see all different kinds of people there. So another thing to know is if you stay somewhere near the main avenue, the beach is roughly going to be about a 10 to 15 minute drive, because there is one straight road, there is one road, like actual road, paved road that goes to the beach, but then there's like some back roads through the jungle that are really, really bumpy. Either way, it's probably going to take a decent amount of time, whichever way the taxi or whatever ride you're taking takes you. It's going to be a good 10 to 15 minutes. But if you stay on the near the main avenue, we were only like a few minutes walk away from the main avenue. You can easily get to a lot of things from the main avenue, a lot of restaurants, stores. We even walked to, we took a taxi, because I mean some stuff you just want to get there quick. So one day we took a taxi to Bate Mojito Bar, and then we walked to the Super Arcade, which wasn't too strenuous of a walk. And when we were in Tulum, it was mostly cloudy and raining the entire time, and the day that we walked to the Super Arcade, it was not hot, so it was pretty much an easy walk to get there. So yeah, you can get to a lot of things. I mean, food is the most important, so that's what you're going to easily be able to get to. And there are some like little convenience stores and stuff like that that you can easily get to as well. Just look and use Google Maps, not Apple Maps, because Apple Maps in Mexico is trash. It's really trash. Use Google Maps so you can get where you need to go. Apple Maps is either not gonna be able to find a location, or it's gonna show you somewhere, it's gonna take you somewhere that you might not even need to go. So yeah, another thing, don't be surprised if you was thumping and bumping and popping and locking and dropping when you on them side roads, because they are bumpy. Not even potholes, it's like dips. I dip, you dip, we dip, all down the street, y'all. A lot of roads are paved, but there are some little side roads. super fly. Anyway, but yes, there were a lot of times where we were stumping and bumping. And the road that our Airbnb was on was a little bumpy. But we stayed on the shorter end, so if they just took us the shorter way, we wasn't thumping and bumping for too long. But if they took us the longer way, it was lumbing and bumping for a little too long, okay? And one taxi driver did take us down the long way, and it was torture. It was true torture. And it just be having you thinking, like, what are they tires made of to be driving around like this all the time? What are your, like, y'all axles and all that stuff under your car must be tight and right, okay? Because ain't no way I'm gonna be driving around on these bumpy ass roads and having to get an alignment all the daggone time, because that's crazy. Like, that car's got to be made of something supernatural, because ain't no way. But yeah, don't be surprised if you get bumped around, okay? And also, don't be surprised if you see a lot of strays. I like to call them beggars, because that's what they be looking for. They be looking for food, or they be looking for other dogs. They don't really, like, they really ain't stunting you like that. Ain't no point of being too afraid, because they not really stunting you like that. If they don't see that you got a bag in your hand, they gonna try to come sniff it out probably, because if they gonna think it's some food. But there's a lot of beggars out there. Don't really see a lot of like homeless people on the street though, which is a good thing. But you're gonna see a good amount of dogs. They're gonna be coming for your food. So you know, just beware. Hold your bags up here, not down there, okay? Ooh, and another thing that ain't scared to get at your food, honey, it's these daggone flying ants or something flying, decently sized little bug. that come out after it rain. They ain't scared to get in your face. They ain't scared to get in your food. They ain't scared to be all up in your business. But they really want your food, okay? So just be mindful of that. We went out to eat outside at the fruit Palma Central. It's like a food truck plaza. And that was out. And the food was good. But we did have an incident where one of those things landed on the food and was there to stay, okay? It's gone. Oh, it's still here. It's on you, girl. It's in your phone. What the fuck? Shit. It wasn't like no regular fly in the United States where it just come and fly away like real quick. Land, dip, land, dip. It wasn't dipping. It was staying. It was staying. It was surveying the area. So just be mindful of that. If you're a person who's not really like into bugs, I mean, no one is really, I mean, there are some people who are, but most people aren't really into bugs. But if you're someone who has like a phobia or is really like, ugh, just stay inside and don't eat outside because they will get at your food. And then another bug, the mosquitoes, man. The mosquitoes was heavy. You got so heavy, baby. That's how we felt about the mosquitoes. Heavy. They was heavy out there, okay? And if you hot bodied, sweat a lot, they gonna eat you up, okay? There's other things mosquitoes is attracted to, you know, different types of blood and stuff. But they was definitely getting my friend. They was getting Essence real bad, more than they was getting me. And I felt so lucky. Wear your bug spray. Bring some bug spray. Wear the bug spray because the mosquitoes is out, especially when it rained. It rained all week, y'all. It rained all week when we was there. Because Tulum is still, you know, it's still the jungle. Don't be fooled. It's a little strip. It's a little strip on the map. That's town. And then the rest is jungle. So don't be fooled. They ain't gonna be in the city and ain't gonna be the mosquitoes. The mosquitoes is gonna be out. The mosquitoes come out at night. The mosquitoes come out all day. The mosquitoes be everywhere. And they was in our Airbnb. Oh, and another thing I almost forgot when I was talking about transportation. A lot of the cars are stick shift. I don't know how that applies to rentals because we did not rent a car. But I feel like some rentals might be stick shift too because a lot of their cars. But if it's a very touristy area, might not be, you know, stick shift like that. But just beware. Just beware. Somebody might need to know how to drive a stick shift when they get out there. Oh, that was a little poem right there, okay? And then I'm almost done, y'all. If you're worried about COVID testing or anything like that, you can get a COVID test at the airport. There are some places in town where you can get COVID tested, but it would cost you maybe $70+ It might be a little bit cheaper, but there are some places in town, but you can always just go to the airport and get a COVID test done. When we got our COVID test done, it was a rapid test, of course, and you can't check in for your flight unless they confirm that you're negative, and someone has to confirm that you're negative or that the test says you're negative. So we paid 290 pesos for our COVID test, and then my boyfriend only had cash, US cash, so he paid $15. And then lastly, but not least at all, y'all, not least at all, you may leave with traveler's diarrhea. And I know no one really wants to talk about poop and all of that, but we're adults. I hope we're all adults here. You know, we can talk about things that everyone goes through, right? Everyone has to go to the bathroom. And in my case, I had an unpleasant experience. After Sunday we got there, we had a meal, and then Monday morning I was straight. We ate at Burrito More on Monday, and we ate at Taboo Monday night. And I don't know what happened between those 3 meals, between Sunday and Monday. I don't know what happened. I have no idea. I don't know what happened, y'all. But when I woke up on Tuesday, I didn't even wake up. My stomach woke me up, y'all. It was bad. It was sad. It was sad. And I did have some charcoal pills. I'm not gonna tell you to take charcoal pills. You can look up charcoal pills and see if you want to take them for yourself. But for me, I took charcoal pills, and after my stomach calmed down a little bit, I took some charcoal pills, went back to sleep, and my stomach did feel a little better. Charcoal pills are supposed to like absorb things in your stomach, but my stomach and my poop, it just was not right. It was not right for like after the trip. And so I'm not telling you to take this, but my godmom said to take, when she used to work in the urgent care or ER or something, they used to give people Imodium AD. Not telling you to take that. I'm not, because I'm not a doctor. But anyway, so it was really cheap. I got it from Walmart, I think. Yeah, I got it from Walmart. It just wasn't right. My poop wasn't right. I did end up taking the Imodium AD, and it helped get it back right. So yeah, that was something I went through for probably about almost 2 weeks. I was about ready to go to the doctor because I just could not. It was too much. So just beware that they don't clean their food like how the United States cleans their food. The health standards are not the same, so just be prepared to maybe not feel right. Whatever it was caught up to me, and just don't get caught slipping, okay? See what you can do to get your stomach right, okay? Also, guys, I almost forgot to mention 2 things that you need to know before going to Tulum. One is that when we went in June, and I feel like a good portion of the summer season, there's a lot of seaweed in the water, and it's really brown. It's not like the green seaweed chips that people eat. It is brown, it is thick, it is laying on the beaches like a river of seaweed. And sometimes you'll even see rivers of seaweed in certain parts of the oceans. It'll be thick, you'll see the waves moving, and you'll see lots of brown areas where the seaweed is moving in that. So that's, you know, the least fun part about going to the beach, especially if you want to get into the water. You want to find a good spot where there's no seaweed. Also, the seaweed stinks. It smells like sewage or something. So that's another downfall. And then lastly, another thing that I want you guys to keep in mind is that the 500 peso bill and the 20 peso bill look very similar. The 20 peso is just smaller, but you just want to be careful what you're handing to people, you know, when you're paying for stuff. So this is the 500. This is the 20. But yeah, so that's all I think you need to know about going to Mexico / Tulum. That's all I think you need to know. And I hope these things were helpful information based on my personal experience. Of course, not everyone else's experience is going to be the same, but I hope this information was valid like salad. And if you visit Tulum, please let me know. Go ahead, and it's gonna be linked. I don't know which side it's gonna be on. Might be this one. I'm gonna link my Tulum vlog. Might as well watch it if you made it this far. And thank you so much for watching this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff, good jazz. And I will see you guys in my next video. Peace.